Manchester City's expensive summer recruit Joe is on the bench again. He's only managed 22 minutes on the pitch so far. Reading's Andre Biquet and Arsenal's Alexandre Song are at the heart of the Cameroon defence. Number 9, Frank Songu, was released by Portsmouth over the summer. Number 2, Albert Banning, returns after suspension. But although their names appear amongst the subs, number 8, Manjek, and number 11, Bebe, are serving suspensions and will not be able to come on today. Dunga, the Brazilian coach, and his opposite number, Martin Untugul. Cameroon in green, Brazil in yellow. Are the golden boys of Brazil about to take a step closer to Olympic gold? Or can Cameroon end their dreams again, just as they did 8 years ago on their way to the big prize in Australia? Then it was a quarter-final tie that was settled in the Africans' favour after extra time. And they've won an early free kick here. Leroy Rossignol, the former Fulham and West Ham United striker, is alongside me. Leroy, can Lightning strike twice? Can Cameroon overcome Brazil again at the last 8 stage?
Well, they certainly will think so. You know, Brazil will have doubts because 8 years ago, you know, they lost out on golden goals, but and they want to get reparation for what happened then, and that is always a doubt. You know, when you get to a quarter-final, anything can happen, and Cameroon will be very confident that they can achieve it again.
The Song with the ball across the face of goal. This is Chedru's drive, straight into the arm of Alex Silva.
Tremendous drive there.
Right start by Cameroon, Leo.
Yeah, it was a tremendous drive, and sat behind it there. You just felt that might have been going for the top corner if Alex Silva hadn't got his big frame behind it. Positive start by Cameroon.
Brazil yet to concede in the tournament. Scored 9 goals in their 3 group victories. In contrast, Cameroon have only managed 2, but have kept 2 clean sheets. Here's Anderson, looking left, unable to pick out Rafael Sobis.
It's interesting that Sobis has come into the side. Pato has been very impressive in previous rounds, is on the bench, which just shows the strength in depth that Brazil have got at the moment. And I think we were saying before, every single one of their players, apart from the reserve goalkeeper, has got a part of the game and has been impressive. So it's been a nice problem for Dunga. Today he's gone with Sobis, but if it doesn't go right, he's always got the young man Pato to come on and have an effect on the game.
Well, we knew that Cameroon err on the side of physical. Talk about taking your feet away from underneath you.
It's an unbelievable tackle, that. The Song is nowhere near the ball. The ball's gone. He just takes his feet from underneath him, leaves him on his backside, and just sends a message to the Brazil team that it's not going to be an easy day for them.
Well, I didn't see a yellow card brandished there by referee Scavina. I'd like to see what he does see as a yellow card offence, if that one escapes it.
Well, he set a precedent there, and that'll play in the hands of Cameroon. They'll know that they might get away with one, but it's a good chance for him to brandish a yellow card and protect this Brazil side, who, the way they play, they like to get the ball in tight. They commit the tackle, and they won't be happy with that.
Interception there by Aurelien Chedju, who missed a penalty in the final group game for Cameroon against Italy. Bursting forward is Rafinha. Now, was he held back there? It's as though Banning was trying to get hold of the Brazilian fullback.
Lovely bit of play. One-touch football. Rafinha in a great position of Brazil fullbacks getting forward. And this time, the referee, Scamina, will brandish a yellow card, and quite right too. He can't let this game get out of hand. You know, the Cameroons want to stamp their authority by being physical, but I think he's done the right thing there.
Well, it's a yellow card to Albert Banning, who was sent off in Cameroon's first group game against South Korea. Welcome back, Albert.
Yeah, they've got to keep their discipline, Cameroon. They can't let it run away from them. We're not, 5 minutes into the game. They've already committed 2 fouls, and we know that from free kicks, Brazil can be potent.
Well, 5 targets in yellow in the box. Ronaldinho over the ball. It's not quite the angle that would suit a shot you wouldn't have thought. Lucas has arrived far post, making it 6 for Brazil in the penalty area. Ronaldinho does go for goal. It's punched away by Tinyen.
I was just going to say, Martin, don't put anything past Ronaldinho when he's on the ball around the box. Outside of the foot, hit the target, tested the keeper, and Brazil will be happy with that.
Here's Diego, far side for Brazil. He's really looked the part in the tournament so far, dumped unceremoniously on the turf, but no free kick on this occasion. And it might well be that the Cameroon player has come out worst of that.
I'm surprised. He's double-armed Diego in the face there, and he's got away with that. But as he goes down, he just seems to hurt himself, and has come out worse. They certainly want to stamp their authority on the game. They've been told, don't let Brazil play. Don't let them get any sort of tempo on the ball.
I think it's Stefan Mbia of Rennes that's the man lying down. Here's that shot again, Leroy.
Yeah, it's a good strike. You just always feel that, you know, with the technique he's got with the outside of the foot, he was going to have a shot. Test the keeper, Tiem, and Tiem makes a good save and a good decision to punch it as well.
Now, we knew that Cameroon would be physical, but in the opening, 5 minutes here, we've seen 3 quite brutal challenges already.
What they're trying to do, Matt, is just break the game up. They don't want Brazil to get into any sort of tempo, any sort of flow, because in previous rounds they've done that, kept the ball, made it difficult for sides, and they want to try and get Brazil riled up a little bit so they take their mind off playing the game, because when they play the game, they know they have not much chance of winning this game. So at the moment they're being physical, they're trying to stop Brazil playing, but I don't think they're being very subtle about it at the moment.
Yes, subtle, not a word in their vocabulary on a football pitch. Certainly not on today's evidence anyway. Good clearance by BK, got up well. Here's Banning. Anderson conceding the free kick, bit of rafters there. Banning didn't enjoy the challenge.
The referee Scamina's got a big job on his hands. You know, he now knows that if he doesn't get hold of the game, it's going to be stop-start. It won't be much of a spectacle if he allows, you know, Cameroon or Brazil to get away with things like this. He's got to stamp his authority. If he's got to show a yellow card, show a yellow card, because we want a game of football.
Well, Anderson needs to just keep a lid on it himself, because he has already been booked in the competition. Another yellow today, and that would take him out of the semi-final should Brazil make it.
Menga here, using his hands to control that.
Here's Marcelo, the Real Madrid fullback. And now Rafinha. Whatever level Brazil play at, they play the same system. 4 at the back with 2 fullbacks expected to push forward as much as possible. 2 holding midfielders, 3 midfielders ahead of them, and the 1 man up top. Here come Cameroon down their right-hand side. Good-looking ball across the middle, and Alex Silva did just enough to put off Menga in the box.
That's a lovely ball across the box. Menga trying to get across that near post, but Alex Silva used his strength just to hold him off there. He's missed the tackle, but did enough. Got his body there, and Rennes just lets it roll across his goal mouth.
Renan, who's just joined Valencia, and I mean just as in the last few days, because he's signed for them from Brazilian club International. And it looks as though Mbia's problem might just be sufficient to lead him to leave the pitch. He's down again, and Cameroon already 2 down, given those 2 players missing this one through suspension. Could be about to lose another player.
Yeah, it'll be a big loss, you know, for Cameroon. Did ever so well in the Africa Cup of Nations. As a midfield player, gets forward and scores the goal, and that'll be a big loss for them if they lose him from their midfield.
There was the incident from which Banning saw yellow, again right on the edge of the area. Lucas of Liverpool. See Mbia still off far side.
I'm surprised if he comes back on Martin. That's twice he's gone down pointing to his knee. You know, he'll want to do everything to take part in the rest of this game, but I just feel that a knee problem going down twice so early on in the game doesn't bode well for the rest of the game for him.
Surprisingly, despite having that numerical supremacy for the time being. Brazil seem reluctant to cross the halfway line at the minute.
Just trying to get a hold of the game, you know. The Cameroons have put them out their stride, getting tight, getting tackles in, and they just want to control the game through possession, which they've done for many, many years.
Bursting run. Interception by Antonio Gomsi. Hook clear by Alex Silva. Here's Rafael Sobis trying to get hold, two after him. Was he held off by BK? Nothing given.
10 minutes gone, Martin. I just feel that Cameroon would be delighted with the start. You know, they've had Brazil have had the one shot from Ronaldinho from the free kick. Apart from that, haven't really got going, and that'll be just what Ntungu, the Cameroon coach, will be looking for, not to allow them to play.
Dunga, who's actually played in the Olympics himself as a player, as part of the Brazilian side that picked up a silver in 1988. Now trying to go one step further with his team. Another foul. Diego on the deck. Banning again involved.
He's got to be careful, Martin. He's already been booked. He's sitting just trip up. Diego on the ball there, and he's walking the tight line at the moment because the referee's let him off that time. But I think the next one, he'll go in the book and he'll be off.
Ronaldinho over it again. What can he conjure here for Brazil? Six targets in the penalty area for Brazil. Anderson tries to prevent the throw-in.
Not quite enough height and not quite the right angle just to get it into the danger area for Ronaldinho on that occasion.
Not quite the perfect first touch by Ronaldinho there. Mbia running freely now, but too heavy as he tried to pick out Bakamanga.
He seems to have got a magic strapping on Martin there. It's got him back on the pitch. As I said, he'll be desperate to take part in this game, but when you get a knee injury so early in the game, it's difficult. I can talk from experience, so you know, fair play to him.
Here's Hernandez. And he was crowded out by a number of green-shirted players there. Seemed to run out of ideas. Bakamanga held up by Breno. Collected here by Bebe. His shot, not a bad one either.
Good effort by Bebe. You know, from absolutely nowhere. Shows a lot of confidence to hit from that distance. Would have taken a lot to beat Renan from there, but you know, he's tested the keeper early on. And a little bit comfortable, Renan, when he's dealt with it.
Just the slightest of touches by Renan. And it's brought Cameroon their first corner.
I just feel this will be an opportunity from Cameroon set pieces. BK out there, big and strong. And get the delivery right. Might get an opportunity.
Well, Ronaldinho was flying in to try and get it away. I think it came off Rafinha. It's another corner.
Yeah, a little bit indecision there, Ronaldinho. I felt should have got his head to that. Just pulled out the last minute. In the end, Rafinha's had to deal with it. And just a little bit of uncertainty back there.
Well, as always seems to be the case, there's pushing and shoving that the referee has spotted and isn't too happy about. And guess what? Number 2, Banning, is heavily involved again.
Seems to be bringing attention to himself all the time, doesn't he?
Second corner for Cameroon. This one's a little bit deeper. Mbia trying to get on the end of it. He's down again. And he's not the only one in green.
Flying in there for that one. I think it's Breno who's got the challenge in. and Bia's come off second best.
Becca Menga, the other Cameroon player that's down.
Good delivery though into the centre of the 6-yard box, just where you want to attack it. And you know, Breno's got a big job in his hand. You know, he's a big lad along with Alex Silva at the back there. Apart from that, not a lot of size in this Brazil outfit, so Cameroon will be trying to exploit that.
Brazil, as yet, have failed to get their passing game going in the final third, certainly. Cameroon's physical presence and hustling qualities haven't enabled Brazil to get in their stride properly as yet. But it's early days, 15 gone, 0-0. And here's Anderson of Manchester United. Lucas of Liverpool.
Cameroon are doing well. I mean, what they're setting out to do is stop the danger men. You know, and Diego and Ronaldo getting on the ball in advanced areas. And at the moment, they're keeping their shape. A midfield player gets the ball like Lucas there. He looks up, there's nothing on. And they'd be happy with seeing him play 30, 40-yard balls in behind, because that's not what Brazil do. And the back four Cameroon will be happy with to deal with that all day long.
Well, Alexandra Song getting instructions from the touchline as more treatment is given to Mbir, and as we originally thought, Leroy, that's the end of his afternoon. That knee problem is obviously too much of an issue for him to carry on.
Absolutely. I was surprised when he came on with a strapping. You know, when you've got a knee problem, and you know, a strapping isn't going to help a joint, and you know, he's tried his best. He's stuck out for 16 minutes, and the reason he stayed on, because it will be a big loss to Cameroon. He's got lots of energy in that midfield, not only closing down, but does get forward and get the odd goal, and it'll be interesting to see how they reorganise now.
Mbir, the man that Everton were heavily linked with over the summer, currently at Rennes. But rumours are that he's asked to leave the French club, desperate to move on to Everton. But his involvement in this quarter-final is over. And off the bench comes Alain Oleoli. Now there's a name that lends itself to a chant from the terraces.
It certainly does. You know, he must be a confident lad to put his name on his shirt twice, but we'll see in the rest of this game.
Third time he's come off the bench for Cameroon, having started their first game, but an enforced reshuffle for Cameroon. Marcelo's throw. As yet, they haven't been able to get either Diego or Ronaldinho on the ball enough, Brazil.
And in previous games, Brazil have set their stall out early, got a pattern of play, kept possession, got into the last third in good possession. And you've got people like Ronaldinho turning and Pato turning, who's not playing today. But Cameroon have tactically, at the moment, got it spot on. You know, they've kept their shape. But when it has come into dangerous areas, they've pressed the ball really hard, got their tackles in early, and it just seems to put Brazil out of their stride.
Forward by Rafinha. It's reached Rafael Sobis, and here's Diego. Ronaldinho inside the penalty area, waiting for the cross. Rafael Sobis trying to deliver. Just think the ball had rolled out of play.
Yes, and Nkuru just did enough there. You felt just Sobis has got away from him, but a little nudge just put him off balance. Couldn't quite get his cross in before he went over the dead ball line.
The Cameroon side that won the Olympics 8 years ago included the likes of Etu and Jeremy and Lauren. Familiar names to us now. Less so back then. Becca Menga's powerful run brought to an unceremonious end from Alex Silva.
Yeah, he's been lively, Beckham, put himself about, made it difficult for the two centre-halves. On that occasion, Silva just used his strength to knock him over.
This is Song. Well, not his intended recipient of that pass, but in the end it did reach Bebe.
Yeah, it's interesting seeing Alex Song playing at centre-half. Not his normal position, a midfield player for Arsenal, but his mobility and his reading of the game be important because of the movement of Brazil. You know, it was Pato before, now Sobis, and that mobility might just come in handy for Cameroon today.
Might be in his genes, of course, because his uncle Rigobert, excellent centre-half, record caps for Cameroon.
Well, I should think he could play for another 20 years like Rigobert then, and you know, Rigobert's a great career. I'm sure he's going to play again at the next Africa Cup of Nations.
Well, the stop-start nature of the game isn't helping Brazil at all. Banning again involved. Another free kick. And here's another foul.
The referee has got to do something about it, because at the moment, you know, they're breaking up the game. Banning is the major culprit, and trying to get away with it, trying to influence referee by talking to him, but he's got to stamp his authority on the game. He didn't on that first tackle, and this is where we've ended up.
Challenge after challenge is being mistimed badly. That was Songu this time. And you can see the annoyance, not frustration, on the Brazilian bench. They're getting annoyed by this.
That's right. Songu, he hasn't got the player, but his intent certainly wasn't to get the ball. It was to stop the player, and he's got away with that. And yeah, at the moment, it's playing into their hands. They're breaking up Brazil's possession. Brazil are getting more and more annoyed, and at the moment, Cameroon will be happy with that.
Remember, in the first group game that Brazil played against Belgium, they came in for similar treatment, and Belgium finished up losing 2 players through red cards.
It's important for a team like Brazil, who do have a lot of possession, that you get a strong referee. You know, that's why they brought in rules like the tackle from behind to allow people to play. And I think if it was a Premier League game, you'd have seen 3 yellow cards at least, and maybe 1 sending off already.
Here's BK. He fancies a run. And what a run. And he's still up there as a marauding right back now. And he's won, or helped to win, Cameroon the free kick. Lucas with the missed-time challenge.
He's a very talented centre-half, BK. You know, he can play, he's score goals. It's nice to see a centre-half, you know, when the game's a little bit stagnant, you need a centre-half to come out with the ball, just to draw people towards him and be confident to play little 1-2s, and it's put Cameroon in a decent position.
Well, their 2 earlier corners were an insight to how they might cause Brazil some problems with set pieces. Here's another opportunity. Songu and Cheju, the 2 players over it. Whipped in by Cheju, and it was Banning with the first timer on the volley.
Didn't look a great delivery, but what it was just in front of the Brazil back 4, made it difficult to defend. And in the end, it's Banning just instinctively gets a boot to it. And if he keeps that down, that might cause Renan all sorts of problems. Luckily for him, it was over the crossbar.
Well, the flair players for Brazil, that advanced midfield 3, Anderson, Diego and Ronaldinho, just haven't managed to get in the dangerous areas as yet. And that is part and parcel of the Cameroon game plan. So far, so good for them. And if anything, Leroy, you could argue they've carried the greater threat so far. 2 efforts, Bebe and Banning just clearing the crossbar.
Absolutely.
And Brazil really haven't threatened since the free kick from Ronaldinho early on.
Absolutely spot on, Martin. There's been few attempts on goal, and they've been the best ones have been for Cameroon. They're doing a tremendous screening job with that 5-man midfield. But when they do get the ball, they're trying to get players forward and support Beckham.
Now, was that a bit of revenge from Marcelo? It's brought him a yellow card.
Yeah, I just feel that Marcelo's gone to try and kick the ball out of play. He's mistimed it, and he draws a yellow card, and he'll be thinking to the referee, well, here comes, I didn't get that same sort of protection when Songo's gone in on me before. On this occasion, the roles are reversed, and Songo's gone down quite theatrically, and the referee's handed out Brazil's first yellow.
Yes, booked there for the intent rather than the connection, because I don't think he made much of a connection with the Cameroon player. But it won't improve Marcelo's mood, having been on the receiving end from that player less than 5 minutes ago.
He'll be frustrated because he likes to get forward. He hasn't got forward at all as yet. And that frustration is showing right throughout the Brazil side.
Here's Bebe. Forced out and away from the penalty area by Rafinha. Piqué. Away by Alex Silva. Now Diego. Was he clipped from behind by Cheju? Yes, he was.
Just as he's gone to play the ball, he's just caught his heel. And just breaking up. Every time Brazil look slightly dangerous, even on the break, they're just breaking up with a little foul here, so they can get their shape back, get organised, and get that screen back on the back four.
Diego, lovely touch. Rafinha. Needs support here. And I think a free kick has been given for pushing from the body language of the assistant referee. Ole was involved for Cameroon.
It's a bit of a soft free kick. No, Rafinha's going nowhere, but a little nudge there from Ole. The linesman's giving it. Well, in fact, it's nothing.
It's soft, isn't it, that?
Absolutely soft, and they'll be disappointed with that, Cameroon.
Buzz of excitement around the stadium in Shenyang. Goalmouth incident has been limited so far. Ronaldinho wants the wall further back. It's not going to go back.
Really wanted to miss that first man out, so it caused a few problems, but Cameroon have defended it well. He's the man they'll be looking for to have an effect on the game, but you can't get the ball, you can't do anything with it, and at the moment Cameroon have made him work off scraps.
Forward by Lucas, gathered by Diego, bit of space for once. Here's Rafael Sobis, trying his luck from distance.
Anybody else you would say hopeful. When Brazil line up from the edge of the box, you always expect something special. On this occasion, it certainly wasn't the case.
Away by Rafinha. For the first time, BK trying a few Brazilian skills of his own. Hernandez, Anderson. Marcelo arriving on the left-hand side. Good defending by Nkulu. Here's Anderson again for Brazil. Another robust challenge coming in just as he released that.
Yeah, just in the nick of time. I think he was just waiting for the ball to settle. But again, strong challenge by Vertsigenge.
Here's Cheju. Lost sight of it for a moment. And now Rafinha.
A patchy game so far, Martin. There's been no real pattern. You feel that then Brazil, at one moment Brazil are going to find their stride, but no, that late challenge comes in, and on the break Cameroon are certainly trying to get players forward to support the lone striker Bekamenga, and so it's an open game.
Brazil, who failed to qualify 4 years ago, pipped by Argentina. 4 years prior to that, it was Cameroon who knocked them out at the quarter-final stage at the Gabba in Brisbane. Game that went to extra time. In fact, Ronaldinho played in that game, and it was his equaliser that took the game into extra time. And by the way, Cameroon that day finished with 9 players on the pitch. You can see the same kind of thing happening there today.
You certainly could if they're not careful.
Diego, Hernandez, Rafael Sobis. It's a little bit tight. But space now for Diego.
Just wondering how long Cameroon could keep up this tempo. Very tight, working extremely hard without the ball. And as the game goes on, and in a tournament situation, you know, you start to feel that towards, you know, 75-minute time. You know, maybe the last 15 minutes Brazil can come into their own.
Foul by Gomsi on Anderson. I'd like to see the foul count at half-time with this one.
Didn't need to give the foul away. He's going nowhere, Anderson. He gets too tight, and that means the ball's going to be delivered again by Ronaldinho into the danger area.
To be fair, it's not that often that Brazil score from free kicks tossed into the mix. But Cameroon need to be at their best anyway. BK needs to take command of the situation in the box. Alex Silva trying to wrestle his way free of his marker. Sao Paulo defender just being spoken to by the referee here.
Some interesting rugby-style defending going on there. Arms around people's chests, little shirt pulls.
Ronaldinho's ball curled in. It came off the head of Banning and behind for a Brazil corner.
Oh, that's a terrific ball. Keeper can't come for it. It finishes on the 6-yard line. But Banning was in the right spot to clear it over his own goal. Fantastic delivery.
Concentration, the name of the game for Cameroon at the moment, as Ronaldinho makes his way across the far side. What's the delivery like on this occasion? Swinging near post, and it's going to come out as far as Hernandez. And in his rush, he couldn't get his feet right. And maybe a chance for Cameroon to hit Brazil on the counter. Diego did just enough and will get a yellow card for his trouble.
Yeah, you call that a good foul, because Cameroon had broken out well. There's an opportunity there, for Brazil at the other end. And if he hadn't have done that, you just feel that Cameroon might have had an opportunity. Cynical, and he takes the booking.
Cynical, professional, call it what you will. But it stopped Songu in his tracks. Diego takes the yellow card as his punishment. And it's Cheju with the resultant free kick. Cleared by Lucas on the edge of the area.
Yeah, I just definitely feel that Cameroon feel that's going to be their best way to a goal. You know, any time there's a free kick, they're delivering it into the box, even from angles. Not quite right like that one. Difficult delivery from there. But every time they get a free kick, it's going to go into that Brazil box.
So far at the tournament, Cameroon haven't scored in the first half. Indeed, their 2 goals have both come in the last 15 minutes of games. A late equaliser in their first game against South Korea, a late winner in their victory against Honduras in game 2. Happy to settle for a 0-0 draw with Italy in the final group game that ensured both would go through to the last stage of the competition.
In this tournament, they're a team that's been happy to be without the ball at times and play on the break. And at least up to this moment in time, it's worked for them rather well. And you have to say, the first third of this game, Brazil haven't really had any clear-cut chances.
Brazil have to get used to this kind of game, don't they, when teams don't give them time, don't give them space, and they have to be far more patient. Ronaldinho for Diego. And again, the back heel trying to release Rafael Sobis. In the way was Alexander Song for Cameroon. And here's Gomsi. Spectacular by Rafinha. The locals enjoyed that, but possession has been thrown away momentarily. Anderson. Rafael Sobis slightly on his heels as that was released his way.
Just overhit the ball, Anderson there. Otherwise, Sobis would have been running at the back four, which hasn't happened too often this first half.
But the only Brazilian out there today that's not been capped at full international level for Brazil. Having said that, he did cost Bayern Munich 18 million euros last January, so it's a sign of his quality. The big number 14, only 18 years of age. 18 million euros. Ronaldinho, he's lost his man. In behind Nkulu. Across goes Song. Good defending. And he's won the free kick.
Inexperienced defending from Nkulu there. Allowed Ronaldinho just to roll him, but again, I'm talking about mobility at the back. Song comes across, and there's a midfield player. He can use his body, just to get the right side of Ronaldinho.
Remember, of course, in the Olympic squads, all teams are allowed up to 3 players over the age of 23 in the men's tournament. Ronaldinho, the old boy in the Brazilian ranks, at 28. Here's Banning. Now, Nkulu. Bekamenga. Banning. Just too heavy for Bebe.
Cameroon can play, when they get into the last third and they pass it, the movement's good. So Brazil have got to be watchful of that, because they're certainly a threat on the break and in possession.
Banning. Strong enough to hold off Rafael Sobis and win the free kick.
A bit of a mismatch there. Sobis tackling like a striker, and in the end bringing bang down the big man Banning.
So many fouls, it's stop start, stop start.
Yeah, it's scrappy, isn't it? But Cameroon will be delighted with this. Brazil got into a flow in their previous games, winning 1-0, 5-0 and 3-0. Doesn't seem like that's going to be one of the results today.
On this occasion, Songo has missed Marcelo. He doesn't make the most of the opportunity to release Anderson. Diego. Rafinha. Rafael Sobis short. Hernandez. Now Breno. Diego. Caught again by Banning after he released that ball.
If he makes it to the final, Martin, I will be very surprised if they get through.
Lucas got a foot in there. Can Brazil capitalise? Anderson, how far out was it? 30, 35 yards?
I think that just sums up Brazil's frustration. The shot's not on, not only in terms of distance, but in terms he's not balanced to hit it either, and the ball's bobbling away. And in the end, it's a tame shot, the Cameroon goalkeeper, and they're just playing into the Cameroonians' hands.
Final game that Shenyang will host, but it is the 12th. Just wonder if there's signs on the surface there of it being the 12th game. It is a little bit bobbly in places, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just making people unsure of their touch, and maybe that's why Brazil are passing it so slow and they can't pick the tempo up the passing, because as you just see as it rolls over the ground, see there, bobble, and that makes it difficult for players who want to play.
Lucas. Rafinha well forward. Fouled by Gomsi. Dangerous place to concede a free kick.
Great illustration of how Brazil get their fullbacks forward there. Lucas plays the ball from the back. It's grievous bodily harm, isn't it?
How is that not a yellow card?
It's unbelievable. And but they've got away with it. And the referee's got to have a look at his performance, because at the moment he's playing into Cameroon's hands. But you know, as I was saying, great play from Brazil. When they get their fullbacks forwards, they're a real threat.
BK and Breno, the latest, enjoying a bit of arm wrestling and fisticuffs in the box. Ronaldinho with the free kick, predictably. In it goes. What a great ball in. And the two players darting in near post, Hernandez and Rafael Sobis. Neither could get the touch. I think it was the number 5 that got the best contact.
Sobis has got in front of his marker there, and he should have got his head on it. In the end, it's Alex Song who clears it out. But that's a great chance, and he'll be disappointed because he's got the run on his marker, got that yard, and missed the header.
Fantastic delivery by Ronaldinho. At the moment, just being restricted to free kicks and corners, the number 10. Hang on, referee spotted something again, and it's a yellow card this time to Andre Biquet.
He's got to be careful. He can't do that to the referee. Unbelievable. The lack of discipline will cost them if they keep this up.
Come back to Andre Biquet in a moment, but
I know just what you're going to talk about as well, Martin.
Let's see what happens with this corner first. Ronaldinho with it. Gained powerfully away at that near post by Song.
You know, he'll get that delivery right in the end if he keeps getting the opportunity. He's put 2 or 3 fantastic deliveries into the danger area already.
In she goes again. Away by Beckhamenga. First to it is Hernandez far side. Andre Biquet, Africa Cup of Nations semi-final. Cameroon have made it through to the final last few minutes, and he's decided to, bodily assault the stretcher bearer, and he got the red card.
Absolutely, it was unbelievable. I think Rigobert Song was down, injured, and he felt the stretcher bearer was taking his time to get there, not really wanting to help him, and he's double pushed him in the chest, and the stretcher bearer has gone down, and he's been sent off and missed the final, and that shows the lack of discipline that the Cameroonians have had in previous games, and they can't do that today.
He's Banning, sent off in the first game, booked inside the opening 2 minutes in this, and lucky not to see a second yellow as the game has progressed. But so far it's 2 yellow cards apiece. Banning and BK for Cameroon, Marcelo and Diego for Brazil, and we have another man down.
Yeah, I think it's Bebe who's gone down under a challenge from Alex Silva, and might have just clipped his eyes. He just released the ball. I think Alex Silva might have just stepped on his Achilles heel. And when that does happen, it is quite painful, believe me. You know, he's got up again. You see here, just as he releases the ball, Alex Silva just hasn't touched him at all.
No. That must be some kind of legacy from an earlier injury. Just maybe his ankle went over as he released it, maybe.
He just twisted it, but he looked. And so I apologise to Alex Silva there.
Well, 2 minutes to go of a very stop-start, scrappy first half in Shenyang. Brazil have been frustrated. The game plan of Cameroon has worked, helped in some small measure by the leniency of the referee. Ronaldinho's lost out to Banning. Here's Frank Songu, the former Portsmouth man, far side. Anderson having to get back for Brazil.
Lad Banning seems to have taken over the role of Mbia, now getting forward. You know, he's been involved in a lot of maybe late tackles, but when he does play and he's got a big long stride, he's athletic, he can get forward and supplement the front man, Beckhamenga.
Free kick quickly taken by Diego. Can Brazil edge in front just before half-time? Here's Lucas now, towards Ronaldinho. Comfortable for Song. Lack of pace there by Ronaldinho, who says that he's using this tournament to get himself match fit for his new club Milan.
Still looks like he's carrying a few pounds, that's for sure. I think AC Milan will be delighted that he's at the tournament. You know, make sure he hits the ground running for them. But as you saw there, Alexandre Song certainly outpaced him comfortably.
Jeju, that's a nice ball. Bekamenga, cross goes Breno for Brazil.
He's worked hard, Bekamenga. He's up there on his own. He's trying to hold the ball up. He's certainly made it uncomfortable for the two centre-halves, Alex Silva and Breno. And, you know, if he keeps that up, he will get his opportunity maybe later on in the game.
Two minutes of additional time. I was expecting a few more minutes given the stoppages that we've had and Beer receiving treatment twice before being helped off the pitch. Could be in for a long evening out there.
The stop-start nature of the game has made it seem like a long first half, in all honesty. But Cameroon would be very, very happy. You know, Brazil are the favourites. The onus is on them to create and make opportunities. At the moment, they haven't done it.
Rafinha full of apology. Bebe is down. Now, what's the referee decided here? The notebook is out. Has Rafinha been booked? Looked like he made contact with the head there, and then afterwards definitely caught the Cameroon man. Third Brazilian booked.
But they'll be frustrated with that, Martin. Yeah, it's a tangle, and he hasn't meant to catch him in the eye, but some of the tackles that flew about in that first 10 or 15 minutes, the referee hasn't reacted at all. It's funny how later the game goes on, he thinks, right, I'll start getting my yellow card out, and he gives yellow cards for silly things.
This will probably be the last chance of the first half. Jeju to take it from this left-hand side. BK is in the box. It's a poor ball, easily dealt with by Ronaldinho. Your final thoughts on a fairly disappointing first half, Leroy, from the perspective of it being a spectacle?
Absolutely, mate. It has been disappointing, but you know, Cameroon have got a game plan. They've stuck to it. They've made it difficult from Brazil. It's been helped by the referee not stamping it out early on, and Brazil have been frustrated.
Here's Marcelo. On my watch, we've played the added two. Now Hernandez, Rafael Sobis, blocked on the edge, and referee Scovenier has seen enough. It's been a scruffy game. Brazil with just the one chance. Ronaldinho's early free kick, well saved by Tinyem. Since then, Bebe and Banning have both had half chances for Cameroon. 5 players booked. At the break, it's all square. It's Brazil 0, Cameroon 0. So it's Brazil in yellow who get us underway in this second half, attacking the goal away to our left-hand side. At stake, place in the last 4 of the tournament. Leroy Rossignol, the former West Ham United and Fulham striker, is alongside me. Leroy, what do you think Dunga may have said to his team at the break just to inspire a bit of improvement, particularly in the final third?
Well, they need to try and pass the ball a little bit quicker when they get up there. When they've got into the last third and played their little one-touch football, they've created space and created opportunities to get at the back 4. And they need to get it into this man in those sorts of areas as much as possible. And I think sometimes he's got to drop a little bit deeper just to get on the ball, because he's the one who's got the creativity, can see a pass that maybe others wouldn't. And at the moment, we just haven't seen enough of him.
Here's Marcelo, one of the 3 Brazilians booked in the first half, along with Diego and Rafinha. For Cameroon, Banning and BK, also in referee Scovenia's notebook.
24 fouls in that first half, Martin. That means, what, a foul every couple of minutes.
It felt like that.
It did, didn't it? It just shows how disjointed the game was. But it's a quarter-final, and I think all the drama is yet to come.
And just to remind you that 8 years ago, when these nations met at this stage of the Olympic Games, it went to extra time, and Cameroon came through by 2-1. Here's Diego for Brazil. Anderson. Ronaldinho. Marcelo making tracks up this left-hand side. It's a really poor ball, that.
Yeah, just feel that he's start of this second half. He's gotten the ball a couple of times, a little bit deeper than he was in the first half, where he was in behind that midfield, and Cameroon did a great screening job on him.
Ooh, Diego, who's one of those that's been booked already, just kicked out at Songo there as he ran away with it.
See, that's a booking. There's absolutely no doubt that that is a booking, and that's the way the referees control this game, with no control whatsoever. And he's allowed players to get away with that sort of thing.
Diego lucky to still be on the pitch, therefore. Here's Song. In the way was Lucas. Hernandez.
Again, Cameroon working ever so hard to close down that midfield. As soon as Brazil get a little bit of a sniff of a forward pass, a foot seems to come in and just do the job, and they've done that throughout the first half and the start of the second.
Lucas and Hernandez digging in, but it's Cameroon that come away with it. Sheju. Oh, nice ball. Nkulu. Awful first touch, let him down, but he's got to it ahead of Ronaldinho. Goal kick.
Ronaldinho doing something you never see him do, tracking back. You know, he did a good job there for the team. Worked hard. Got the tackle in. It was a fair tackle, and then he points the finger.
Well, we've talked already about Ronaldinho saying, I need this tournament, I need to get match fitness ahead of joining my new club Milan for the start of Serie A in a couple of weeks' time. But also he needs to show his quality to Dunga again, because since Dunga has been the coach of Brazil, frequently has overlooked Ronaldinho and said, look, you know, you're not playing well enough to be picked.
Absolutely, and in Brazil, you know, they've got players of his type who can come in and do the job, and then at 28 you just wonder if he's at the wane, but he's got so much talent, and you wouldn't bet against him, you know, getting his fitness, getting his sharpness, and being the Ronaldinho of maybe a year or 18 months ago.
Here's Ole Ole, the Cameroon sub that came on in the first half for the injured Stefan Mbia, who limped off having taken a nasty fall. Same pattern that we saw in the first half.
Yeah, they've continued where they let off Cameroon, and they'll be gathering confidence. The longer this game goes on, the more confident they'll be sneaking a winner, and the less confident Brazil will be, because they haven't created any chances apart from set pieces, and that's not something you say about Brazil's side.
Remember that Brazil have never won the gold medal at the Olympics. Best they've managed, a couple of silvers in the 80s, losing to France in 84 and the Soviet Union 4 years later, final in which the current coach Dunga played in.
See there's Sobis who's coming for Pato. You know, they're resorting to the long ball, and I just feel BK there will deal with that all day long. He's too strong, he's too powerful, and he'll be happy with that. But anything into Sobis' feet, that's when he'll struggle with the little man up front. And I can see Pato coming on, you know, maybe around the hour mark, because he's had a good tournament. You know, he's been rested, and he'll maybe give that back four a different problem.
Songo. Bebe robbed. Anderson through a gap for Diego. Nicely on for Ronaldinho. Now, can he get away from Bebe here? Yes, he can. Options right and left. Good defending by Gomsi, getting in the way.
Yeah, he's unlucky there. He chose a more difficult option. It was a simple pass out to the right, but just try to thread a ball through the left back and the centre half. And unfortunately for him, he's cut out.
Banning late again on Lucas. Now then, what punishment here? Banning's already been yellow carded. It's a red card for Albert Banning, and that means not only are Cameroon down to 10 men for the remainder of this game, but Banning has the unwelcome record of being sent off twice in his 2 appearances at the Olympics this year.
Are we surprised, Martin? Well, the answer is no. He could have been sent off on 3 previous occasions. On this occasion, it's a harmless tackle, but it's high, and technically that's a booking, and he's off. He's looking as if he's surprised, but I'm sure his manager will have said to him, you know, go steady, second half, just mind your tackles, you're on a yellow card, and he hasn't taken the warning, and he's off. And and now it certainly will be a back-to-the-wall approach from Cameroon.
More problems for Ntongo, but the writing has been on the wall. I mean, the pair of us were surprised that Banning was still on the pitch after some of his tackles in the opening 15 minutes.
Right, and he can have no complaints whatsoever. You know, the referee has given him chance after chance. He's got away with it, and I can't believe he stood there arguing.
Well, this is outrageous, and quite wisely he's being shepherded off the pitch by his colleague Chedru. 23 years of age, the PSG midfielder.
Well, he showed a lack of experience there, and he has shown that. You know, very early on in the game he was booked, and he kept on drawing attention to himself. And the referee keeps seeing the same person foul and foul and foul again. Sometimes it doesn't matter how bad the final foul is. He's just had enough, the referee, and decided to let him get off the pitch.
Just looking at his record last year in French football, Leroy was actually on loan with Sedan in Division 2. Didn't manage to score a goal, but he did pick up a red card. Is that any surprise?
None whatsoever. But he's put Cameroon in a more difficult position than they already were. And I just see that Brazil will have more possession of the ball, and more possession means more chance of creating chances.
Well, now there should be more space for Brazil. That little bit of extra room that should enable the likes of Diego and Ronaldinho and Anderson to fire the bullets for Rafael Sobis, maybe, to get the all-important opening goal.
Absolutely. I can't see Cameroon now coming out. You know, they certainly were trying to get midfield players forward to supplement Becca Menga up front, but I just see Becca Menga just leading that lone four up front.
Great ball by Lucas that Rafael Sobis couldn't deal with.
Yeah, it was a great ball, and if he'd taken in his stride, could have just got his shot off, but his touch let him down.
Marcelo, chance to cross here. Good ball as well. It was Anderson on the volley. That would have been some goal.
It's a great ball in, and he's the one man in the box. He's picked him out, just pulled it back. And Anderson on his favoured left foot. Maybe he should have done better. You know, that's a decent opportunity for somebody of Anderson's ability. He's just taken his eye off it at the last moment, and it's come off his shin.
Nasty play by Chedju. Gomsi. Just wonder if Cameroon down to 10 men now might just persuade some of the crowd to favour the underdogs. Generally speaking, they've been firmly behind Brazil throughout the tournament. Might sympathy come into it a bit now?
You can't have any sympathy with the way they've played, yeah, in terms of getting their tackles in. But yeah, sometimes it defines how you're going to play a lot easier. You know, and they'll just wait for the break and try and nick a goal from a set piece. And sometimes it makes it easier when you don't try and get forward and you know you've got to defend.
Lucas waiting for it to bounce. Bakamenga almost made the most of it. Brazil have found African opposition difficult to beat in the Olympic Games in previous years. We've already spoken about Cameroon knocking them out in 2000. 4 years prior to that, Nigeria knocked them out the semi-final stage. That also went to extra time.
We're talking about discipline there. In one sense, they've been indisciplined, you know, they are banning there, getting sent off. But in another sense, they've been very disciplined in the way they've approached the game. The tactical approach, kept their shape, stopped their front men getting the ball, and made it very, very hard for Brazil.
Song somehow squeezing it through for Songo.
You just hear the crowd getting behind Cameroon when they do get on the ball, and that'll give them a lift. And you know, Brazil will be thinking, well, everybody's against us at the moment, you know, and you know, Cameroon's still got a sniff of this. You know, could take it to penalties or maybe just sneak a goal from a set piece. As I've said, you know, they're still in this game.
Just looking at their formation, no great surprise that Bebe appears to have dropped deeper into the midfield. So it's now 4-4-1 with Bakamenga up top on his own. Lucas. Important sliding in there by Cheju.
Still surprised that Brazil haven't tried to play any diagonals in behind for their fullbacks. It's been part of their game plan for many years. The two fullbacks pushing on as wingers almost, and Lucas, who's dropped in behind, has certainly got the capabilities to play a longer ball in behind for those two, Marcelo and Rafinha, and it's something they haven't done a lot in this game.
Long leg of Alex Silva just pokes that clear for Brazil. Songo did well to keep it in. Here's Cheju for Cameroon. And now Gomsi. Tinyem just clears in the nick of time. I'm sure he'll be surprised he hasn't really been needed too much today. Just that one early save from Ronaldinho. That's the only save he's been forced to make.
Well, I mean, the captain of Cameroon would be delighted with that. I'm sure that he thought he might be busy today, but as I said, the back four and the midfield four have done a fantastic screening job on those front three of Brazil, and they haven't been able to get at him. And at the moment, it looks like they won't.
Rafinha. Forward by Lucas. Nice chest control by Diego. Now Hernandez. Diego again. Asking a bit too much of Rafinha and Hernandez. Away by Gomsi. Lucas. Anderson. Can look left. Ronaldinho. Trying to come away from his man and was looking to release Rafael Sobis. In steps Piqué, closes the door.
I think that's been the difference. When they've got in that position on previous occasions, in previous games, Pato's been a man who's played really well with Ronaldinho and linked up fantastically well on the edge of the box. And at the moment, Sobis doesn't seem to be on the same wavelength.
The song was bursting through there from the back for Cameroon. Now maybe he's out of position. Can Ronaldinho create the most of this? Tries to work a 1-2 with Rafael Sobis. Marcelo now for Brazil. Hernandez. Sobis. Outright is Rafinha. Rafael Sobis, shot might be on. Instead it's Anderson, the shot definitely on now. And it's a good save by Tinyem.
It's a good save, good save. Down low to his right hand side. But as he's took the ball, I'm sure they backed right off him. He's only 18 yards out. And it's a really powerful shot. It needed a really strong arm from Tinyem to hold on to the ball.
Well, that was patient build-up play by Brazil. Space in the middle in the end for Anderson. And Tinyem with a good stop. Sign of things to come. We'll expect to be increasingly busy as the next 30 minutes tick by. Still 0-0, an hour played in Shenyang. Brazil with the extra man advantage. Banning sent off early in this second period for a second yellow card. And Brazil trying to find space and make the most of that extra man.
Well, I think two things have happened. Obviously, Cameroon are down to 10 men, but the other thing that's happened is they can't seem to get close to Brazil at the moment. They seem to have just lost their edge in terms of pressing the ball and getting close, and the energy seems to be being sapped out of Cameroon. They've worked ever so hard for an hour, and as I said, in this humidity, it's always going to be difficult, and they find it hard at the moment.
Diego beginning to prompt from midfield. Here's Marcelo. Liverpool's Lucas. Hernandez lines up the shot and let's go.
Oh, he had to hold on to it, Tinyem. It wasn't a powerful shot, but the way he just skipped up at the end, it could easily have just come off him. And if it had, Ronaldinho was there, the simple tapping. So, well done.
Well, Hernandez was the man that got the decisive goal in Brazil's opening group game against Belgium. That followed a similar pattern, actually. The winning goal came just 11 minutes from time after Belgium had had 2 players sent off. Song. On this right-hand side is Nkulu. Rarely have we seen him this far forward. Cross blocked by Breno. First to it is Songu. And that's out of play.
On the few occasions they do get forward, they've got to deliver, as they'll be running back to their own goal. On this occasion, Nkulu didn't get the ball in, give away the free kick, and now again they're on the back foot with Brazil in possession.
Here's Diego. Winners of this game, by the way, will play Argentina or Holland in Tuesday's semi-final in Beijing. Rafael Sobis caught in two minds there. But Brazil have it back. It's Anderson, goes for goal again, blocked by BK this time. And in his efforts to reclaim possession, he's conceded the free kick.
That's a great example of what Cameroon are allowing Brazil to do now in this second half. You saw Sobis come off this time, and they allowed him to turn and play forward. In the first half, there was somebody tight, behind him, not allowing him to go forward. And that just means a lack of concentration. That comes through tiredness. And at the moment, they've been chasing the ball, and they're looking a little bit lethargic and lacking that spark.
Foul here by Alex Silva. Now then, maybe an opportunity for Cameroon. 10 men or not, you can threaten from set pieces.
They've got to try and make the most of any opportunity around the box. On this occasion, Alex Silva trying to get in front of Bekamenga, and he can't do that. Bekamenga's strong. He's drawn the foul, and there's 4 or 5 Cameroon players fancying this. BK, that's a great strike from distance. And Renan, who hasn't had a lot to do, has got to be on his guard.
It's just the one tip over from Bebe in the first half. That's all Renan has been required to do so far. Might be needed here. 4 in the wall for Brazil. BK looks like he fancies this one. Must be 35 yards from goal here. It will be BK. And it's cannoned off left-hand side for Gomsi. And it's still not away. It should be now by Diego. Ronaldinho hasn't helped, and that was travelling. Well struck by Cheju.
Great strike by Cheju. He's not paused to think. He's just hit it on his left foot. Could have gone anywhere's hit a Brazil player, and they scramble it away.
Now, can Brazil move this forward accurately? No, they can't.
Sobis there, not really got the pace to really trouble the Cameroon back four. Wants it into his feet around the board. He's clever, he's sharp in small spaces. Not really someone who's going to run into the channels.
Alex Silva tidying up. By the way, Brazil not having it all their own way in the World Cup qualifying tournament in South America. Recent draw with Argentina, coming hot on the heels of a 2-0 defeat in Paraguay. At the moment they're 5th, and it's only the top 4 that automatically go through. The 5th side have to go into another qualifying game. Another yellow card, this time for Gomsi.
It might seem like he got the ball, but he's miscontrolled the pass, and it's a high tackle. He's gone high on the ball. It's a dangerous tackle, and the referee's spot on to give him a yellow card.
The end of the evening for Hernanes, and on comes Thiago Neves, who scored twice in the final group game victory over China, the first of which was a magnificent free kick.
Yeah, he's got tremendous left foot. A free kick and a shot from the edge of the box. Very creative, just a little bit of a different threat from Brazil, and maybe can just give him the spark to get that all-important goal. Just feel that one goal will most probably be enough for Brazil, and if it goes all the way, Cameroon will be very confident going into penalties.
Here's Rafinha. That'll be a free kick, given away by Ole Ole.
Again, it's just out of range for Brazil. Ronaldinho's on the ball. It's a difficult delivery just to get it in around the edge of the 6-yard box. Central goal for the big men, Silva and Breno, to attack.
Thiago Neves is out there as well, just to the right of the ball. If he takes it, he'll be left-footed. Ronaldinho takes it right, it looks too deep. I just wonder if Tinyem helped that on its way for a corner. I think it was making its way out of.
I think you're right, Martin. I think he could have let it go, and he's tipped it over, and Brazil have another chance to put it in the danger area.
We'll hope that this doesn't prove costly. Didn't need to touch that, Tinyem. Ronaldinho's corner kick to the near post. Lucas was attacking it, won by Bekamenga.
Great defending from the striker there. Made sure he's first to the ball, used his strength just to hold off Lucas. But it's another corner.
Into the last quarter of the 90 minutes. Brazil pressing with increasing urgency for the first goal. Ronaldinho's corner, well taken by Tinyem. Breno's challenge wasn't the most pleasant you'll ever see.
No. Agricultural, I call that, Martin. He says nowhere near the ball. And it's dangerous as well, because as the keeper's in the air, you give him a nudge, he could fall and really hurt himself. But Tinyem did very well to hold on to that ball there.
And here it is again, and it's brought a yellow card. I think the landing made it look even worse. So it's just worth recapping who's been booked so far. Marcelo, Diego, Rafinha and now Breno for Brazil. For Cameroon, BK, Gomsi and Banning, who received 2 yellow cards. So 8 yellow cards have been shown.
It is important, Martin, because these yellow cards could cost you later on in the tournament. Yeah, it's all very well getting through to the semi-final, but you lose your best players. I know it's a squad game, but it does have an effect later on down the line, and so they've got to be careful.
Well, I think in fact amnesty comes in after this stage, at the quarter-final stage. But obviously in today's game, any of those get another yellow and they're off the pitch. Good covering by BK. Anderson. Oh, what a hideous challenge that one is. That was almost a kung fu kick by Bekamenga.
That is absolutely ridiculous. You know, it's that is a sending off if I've ever seen one. It's ridiculous, and the referee's made his own problems. But that is just a straight red card, no doubt about it. 2-footed in the back of Anderson's calf, and I'm just pleased to see Anderson get up again and ready to play. But awful challenge.
I'm not sure whether Sir Alex Ferguson will be taking in this game as he prepares for day one of the Premier League, but even so, he'll be mightily relieved to hear that Anderson got back onto his feet after that challenge, because that was ugly in the extreme. Rafinha with the cross. Who will the bounce favour? Ronaldinho tries to help it on. Son gets to the bouncing ball quickest. Still 0-0, less than 20 minutes to go. Cameroon still in this game. Rafael Sobis with the trip from behind.
Yeah, Songu, let's get some respite for Cameroon at the moment. They're really on the back foot, and that little run drawing a little bit of a harsh free kick, but it gives Cameroon a break and can get a rest.
Just keeping our eye on the Brazilian bench here. I just wonder how much longer Dunga will leave it before he brings on Pato, maybe, for an ineffective Rafael Sobis. It's not been helped by the fact that the midfield trio of Anderson, Diego and Ronaldinho haven't got going today for Brazil. But even so, just fresh legs of Pato might be enough just to conjure up this opening goal that you feel, Leroy, will be enough. The next goal, we think now, will win it with 20 minutes to go.
Absolutely. You know, Pato's been impressive. I was surprised that he didn't start the game today, and so I'm sure he was surprised. But you know, Dunga's in charge. He knows what he's doing up to now, and I'm sure he will unleash him at some point.
You watch Rafael Sobis get the winning goal now.
Yeah, what do we know?
Thiago Neves with the cross, cleared by BK. Ball was played according to the referee. And here's Anderson. Rafinha bombing forward. Well, it was Bekamenga again with an ugly challenge. This time he doesn't get the man.
Well, Bekamenga is their lone strikers back in midfield now. They've got no one up front. They were working very, very hard into the last 20 minutes. And it just seems it's all going to be Brazil in this last third of the pitch for the last quarter or so.
Alex Silva coming up from the back. Gomsi can clear. Another Brazilian throw.
Still haven't really created that clear-cut chance. A couple of efforts from outside the box, which Thiem has done well to save, but you expect more from Brazil.
Thiago Neves, his shot. Well, it took a deflection en route, an awkward bounce in front of the goalkeeper as well. It'll be a corner.
Yeah, playing on that right-hand side, coming in. Good touch. He can hit him. And this BK, he just deflects it wide for a corner.
6th corner for Brazil. Breno, Alex Silva, tallest players up from the back. Comfortable take for Thiem. Expect better quality than that from Ronaldinho.
Yeah, but I've been impressed with Thiem. He's captain. He's not the biggest keeper, but he's athletic and confident as well. And when your back four sees your keeper come and take a clean catch like that, it just breeds confidence.
Thiem has kept clean sheets in his last 2 games. It's now 285 minutes without conceding a goal for the Cameroon keeper at the Olympic Games. He's only been beaten once. That was in the opening game against South Korea. Thiago Neves. Cultured left foot. Marcelo, ditto. Now Diego. Rafinha to Lucas's right. Anderson. Thiago Neves. Good solid tackle. And Cameroon trying to launch a counter-attack here. The ball really needs to be moved on swifter than that.
And the problem they've got now is when they win the ball, they've got no one to play forward to, because everybody's behind the ball defending. Bekamenga's coming back, and so they've got to go backwards or sideways, and it just allows Brazil to come onto them and try and win the ball high up the pitch.
Cameroon making a change here. Songu, who was just floored with that last challenge on this near touchline by Marcelo, is going to be replaced by Serge Ungal, 22-year-old who's just joined Tarragona in Spain from Portuguese club Liera. And he's a striker by trade, quick as well. Just wonder if Bekamenga might drop into the midfield and Ungel will play the lone striker role now. Absolutely.
It's all very well defended, but as you said just now, Martin, when you win the ball, you need to have someone to hit. And a little bit of pace up front will certainly help. Songu's worked very hard down this right-hand side. He's given a good shift. And now Ungel will hopefully just stretch the game out for them, as they do win position, and see if they can exploit the space down the sides and in behind the Brazil side that's pushing forward.
We creep ever closer towards extra time in this quarter-final tie at Shenyang. Slipped by Song, in steps Rafael Sobis. It's fallen here for Diego. To his left is Marcelo. That's nice feet by the left back. Off Song for a Brazil corner.
First mistake he's made, Song, but he's made up for it with that block and allowed Marcel to get forward and just got a good block in. He's just pulled it back. There's people waiting on the edge of the box to pull the trigger.
7th Brazilian corner. They will hope that it's more effective than the last that Ronaldinho delivered. Attacking that near post. And Ungal is able to bring it away. The fresh legs of the substitute. Into touch by Breno.
He's done exactly what they've asked for. He's run it out, kept possession. They've won a throw. It just allows him to take the sting out of the game. You see they'll leave the ball now for the fullback to come forward, to slow the game down, get a breather, get organised, and go from there.
Far side is Gomsi.
Well, that's what Beckhamenga's had to feed off scraps for all this game, but he's prepared to do the work. And at this moment, even down to 10 men against a rampant Brazil side in previous games, they're still in this game, Cameroon, and they'll be delighted with that.
Diego. Rafinha. Marcelo. Lucas for Rafael Sobis. Now Ronaldinho. On that right-hand side arriving is Rafinha. Plenty of yellow in the penalty area now. Out as far as Thiago Neves. We know that he can pack a punch in his shot, but he won't get the chance this time. Cheju brings it away calmly for Cameroon, helped by Gomsi far side.
It's good defending by Cameroon. When Brazil got into a one-on-one, Gomsi doesn't allow Rafinha to go down the outside of him, shows him inside into the bodies, and they nick it. And you know, they've done that well. You know, we could say, yeah, they've been a little bit indisciplined at time, but in terms of the way they've approached it tactically against a very good Brazil side, they've been very, very good. And for 78 minutes, they've kept Brazil at bay comfortably.
Well, it was at this stage of proceedings in their opening group game that Brazil got the decisive goal against Belgium. Diego with the battling run wins the free kick. Alexandre Song just mistiming that right on the edge. Not that Cameroon agree with that decision. And I think the referee wants to book Song as well. Indeed he does.
I'm not sure I agree with that decision either, Martin. It seemed a very soft free kick. Shouldn't be acting like that, Song. And that's why he's got the book in, but it's right on the edge of the box. You see here. Looks like he's just run into him there. Kept his leg out. It's a tight one to call, but what I do know, it's in a great position for Onyedino. I'm sure it'll be him who takes this on.
Well, Diego is suffering with a dead leg, and he's winded too, but he's won his side. A free kick right on the edge of the penalty area. And as you can see, Ronaldinho is over it. It's his kind of territory. Thiago Neves is there too. And the referee insistent on getting that wall fully 10 yards back. It's a great opportunity this for Brazil.
This could be a key moment in this game. Cameroon haven't got their wall together as yet. That's why TM is trying to get them organised. This could be a defining moment.
Lucas and Alex Silva on the edge of that wall. Just trying to unsettle the men in green in it. Ronaldinho and Thiago Neves, pictures of concentration. It is Ronaldinho, the wall does its job, and it will be a corner.
BK did very well. You see on so many occasions players turn their back on the ball. He's kept his eye on it, got his head to it, and that was certainly going on target.
Setting into the keeper's left-hand post, that one. Corner quickly taken for the first time. Ronaldinho. Now Diego. Dinked it in, the flag is up far side. Alex Silva caught offside, Tinem saved it anyway.
Great defending. They've all just come up, just a couple of yards and kept the centre half in there. And it's a couple of yards offside, but at this late time in the game, you know, to defend like that shows a good concentration.
Alex Silva has missed it. Breno behind him. Will we have a winner in the remaining 9 minutes, or are we going into extra time in Shenyang? Diego has lost that, and it's Cameroon that come forward. Sliding in was Lucas. Bodies piling in all over the pitch.
You see Bebe won the ball as he runs forward. There's not one Cameroon player in advance of him. But again, he wins a free kick, and maybe that was a bit high as well from Bebe, and he's got the free kick.
Well, I've talked about Brazil getting a late goal to win their first group game against Belgium. Don't forget that Cameroon's only 2 goals in the group stages. Both came in the last 15 minutes of their games against South Korea and Honduras. 7.5 minutes left as it's curled in by Nkulu, cleared by Breno. Out as far as Bebe, partially stopped by Lucas. The shot from Ole. Cheju takes over. Gomsi to his left. Late pressure for the first time in this second half from Cameroon. Cleared though by Alex Silva. Ronaldinho needed to get that first for Brazil. Diego tries to do it. A Song in command for Cameroon. It'll fall for Ngal. Ngal taking on Breno. That's good defending by the big centre-half. Just for a moment there, Leroy, it looked as though it might just open up for Cameroon.
They've had a lucky break. It's deflected to Ngal, and I thought, well, there you go. But Breno's done fantastically well to get his body across Ngal and just see it through to Renner. And, you know, it seems Cameroon haven't given up on winning this goal in normal time when they get forward, trying to get players forward still.
Marcelo for Ronaldinho. Saw the man coming. Clever play. Looking to win the free kick. Referee couldn't have had a better view of that. And waves play on.
Well done, the referee there.
Anderson backtracking with Ole. It's good play by the Manchester United midfielder.
Did very well. The referee did great not to give a free kick. Ronaldinho trying to get a free kick there, and Anderson tracking back late on in this game, doing the job.
Rafinha for Brazil. Not long left now. It's still 0-0, and that's an awful ball by Rafinha. Breno takes over. Diego now. Thiago Neves. Rafinha bombing on right of him. Great ball. 4 to pick out in the middle, and it's cleared by Son.
Didn't quite pull it back enough. There's 2 players waiting around the penalty spot just for the pullback. And in the end, Son just stuck a toe out and cleared the danger.
Gomsi for Cameroon. Bit more adventure in their play as we enter the last 5 minutes. And that was a tired ball.
It certainly was. All of a sudden, there's a bit of urgency about Brazil. They're starting to realise, do we really want this to go to penalties? Because you know, Cameroon have as good a chance as them as going through. And down to 10 men, they haven't taken the opportunity.
Diego. Thiago Neves. Can he get this on his favoured left foot? That wall of green shirts does its job again.
He's come inside into a wall of green, and he couldn't unleash that left foot, which got him a couple of goals in the last game.
Alex Silva. Crossfield ball to Marcelo. If it is to be decided in the 90 minutes, it's going to be desperately, desperately late. Lucas. Picking out Marcelo. Wins the throw-in off Nkulu.
I think that's what it's all about now for Cameroon. They've got to get their bodies in the way, stop crosses, stop shots, just try and see out these last 4 or 5 minutes plus extra time.
Cameroon ever so fit, but they've been down to 10 men now for the best part of 40 minutes. Marcelo wanted a free kick.
Yeah, he's been pulled back by Ngal. He's tried to play a little 1-2, and Ngal's just dragged him back. I think the referee has actually seen it and given the free kick.
Yep. Ronaldinho quickly across to try and make the most of this latest opportunity. They're 3.5 minutes away, Cameroon, from taking Brazil into extra time. Breno up from the back. Alex Silva is in there as well. Ronaldinho's delivery, again it's poor, again it's cleared. This time Bekamenga in the way.
It's poor, he's got to miss out the first man, and it's easy for Cameroon.
Marcelo of Real Madrid will try his luck. It's a bit deeper, but it finds the head of another Cameroon player. This time BK nods it clear.
Everybody back defending now.
Diego. Ongal's clearance only as far as Ronaldinho. Driven in, awkward one for Gomsi, and he struggled to get a good touch on that. It will be a Brazil, well, it should have been a Brazil throw. I thought it just nicked off the leg of Gomsi.
There's a hopeful ball in from Ronaldinho, trying to get it in behind Gomsi, but wasn't to be.
Bekamenga's work is over. Whether or not it's the end of his tournament remains to be seen. Full of running throughout, Bekamenga, but it's been more to do with hard endeavours than chances and shots and goal, and some might feel that he was lucky to stay on after that horrendous challenge on Anderson. Umboa on, Mark Umboa, 21 years of age, like Ungol, a speedy forward.
He's looking to exploit those spaces in behind. Bekamenga's worked extremely hard, and I think very lucky to still be on the pitch, and I think he's run himself out.
So all three Cameroon subs are on the pitch. Ole Ole on in the first half for the injured Umbia, and now Ungal and Umboa are on as well. Still time maybe for Brazil to win it in regulation time. Thiago Neves. Here's Rafinha. Anderson.
Not on the same wavelength there as Marcelo. Marcelo wanted it to feet. It really just sums up Brazil's performance today. Just in that final third, hasn't really clicked for them. They haven't created any clear-cut chances. Tingnyema's not had a lot to do. 2 or 3 saves, which he's made comfortably. A few catches, and over 90 minutes, he'll be delighted with that.
Into the last minute then. Still locked at 0-0. It looks like we will need extra time to settle this one. It will be interesting though to see how many additional minutes referee Scavina adds at the end of the 90.
Interesting to see if Ronaldinho lasts the pace. Gone out of the game. Started the second half a little bit better. I haven't seen him really stamp his authority on the game, and looks like he's lacking fitness, as we said before.
3 minutes of added time. If we don't get a goal in the next 3 minutes, it's 30 minutes of extra time. Cramp affecting Bebe.
Well, one thing Cameroon have all done is work extremely hard without the ball, and that takes its toll.
Played his 3 subs. He's down to 10 men, and one of the players out there, Bebe, can barely move at the minute through cramp. Cameroon appear in no fit state to play the extra 30 minutes should they be needed, but nothing if not short of, or nothing lacking in spirit in this Cameroon side. They battle throughout, not always legally, but always gamely. It looks as though they're going to take Brazil, the hot favourites for the Olympic gold, to extra time.
I just feel that you know, as a coach, you know, to use your 3 subs up before extra time so late on in the game might be a mistake. You don't know what's going to happen. You see, Baby goes down with cramp as soon as he's used that last substitution. And now you're wondering, should I have saved it?
Into the mix. Good take by Renan, who has been a virtual spectator, particularly in the second half. And had he got that wrong and dropped it, could have been very costly for Brazil. Has played for the full international side, Renan, on 3 occasions. Here's Marcelo. Last minute of additional time. Looks like we are going to need extra time to sort this one out. Forward by Alex Silva.
Well, that's been a story of, I think it's Thiago Neville there this time, but hasn't quite happened for Brazil. When they've got in the last third, their touch has let them down, or Cameroon got a block or got a tackle in.
That was loose by Anderson, but it's made up for it with that challenge on Ngal. And being pulled back by the sub, that'll be another yellow card. I am seriously beginning to lose count on these yellow cards now. 4 for Brazil, 5 for Cameroon, plus 2 yellows for Banning, who was sent off.
It's quite apt. The game finishes as it started.
Yeah.
And
there is the final whistle. We will need at least 30 minutes of extra time, and who knows, maybe penalties to settle this one. It's scrappy, it's untidy, but it'll still be dramatic. Full time in Shenyang. It's still goalless. It's Brazil 0, Cameroon 0. No goals in the 90 minutes. Extra time required to try and settle this quarter-final tie in Shenyang. We expect all the action to be heading towards the Cameroon goal. Are Cameroon going to try and see this out through the penalty kicks, or can they hit Brazil on the counter? Can Brazil, in the meantime, find a way through this well-organised defence, brilliantly marshalled by Reading's Andre Piqué?
It has been brilliantly marshalled. You know, he's still a young man. I think he's only 23, and Alexander Song have been the outstanding players today in terms of Cameroon's performance. And I just feel though they haven't been shifted enough by Brazil. You know, they've been slow on the ball. Their passing hasn't been as incisive. And you know, when you're down to 10 men, you'd like to move them from side to side. Brazil haven't done that. They still try to keep it tight, and it's played into their hands.
First foul of extra time comes inside the first minute, committed by Ngal. Breno makes his way forward. Another centre half of Brazil, Alex Silva, is in there already. Ronaldinho over it. His ball in, cleared by Cheju.
How many times has he done that? You know, he started off with some great deliveries. His last few have looked tired and just haven't missed out the first man. That's so frustrating for the centre halves and strikers who've got forward waiting for a good delivery. And Cameroon clear comfortably.
Oh dear. Well, what a performance by Tinyem, but precious seconds tick by.
Time wasting after 1 minute and 40 seconds of the extra time. Unbelievable.
Here's Marcelo. No way through. Blocked by Nkulu. Alexandra Song. Not much to aim for. Bua, a willing runner. Increasing urgency about Brazil. They will not want this to go to penalties. They have to make the extra man pay. Surely they have the quality to fashion more chances. Piqué's clearance.
Just think in games like this, Martin, Brazil towards the end of the second half showed a bit of urgency. But again, the ball goes out, they take their time getting on the ball, which allows Cameroon to get their shape back, everybody to get back into position, facing the ball. And, you know, if you can just pick up the tempo by picking the ball up quickly and get going again, it might just unlock this Cameroon side.
That's how to do it. Do you want the ball? Do you want to pressurise me? Okay, I'll sit on it now. Ungal taking on Breno. Support finally arrives in the shape of Nkulu, the right back. Curls it in. Bananas come. That wasn't the most convincing of punches, and the shot is over the crossbar. I think it was Bebe that let it go. Well, half a chance there, Leroy.
You're right, that might have been their opportunity. And Ungal did well to start off with Nkulu. I was wondering why he crossed it, because there weren't many people in the box. He's put a high ball in there, which Brennan hasn't been convincing. Poor punch, and Bebe's technique lets him down.
Ronaldinho almost fell for Thiago Neves. It's a good take in the end by Tinyem. It really took off the surface once it bounced.
It was a fantastic take by him. We just didn't expect the ball to bounce up like that. And he stretched up high, small frame for a goalkeeper, but used every inch of it to collect that ball.
Brazil throw. Rafinha will take. Diego. Same again. Rafinha again. Alex Silva. Off the head of Ungal for another Brazilian throw. Marcelo. Here's Lucas.
Wondered if Brazil have run out of ideas, Martin. They just seem to be falling back into keeping possession in front of this 4-4-1 formation. Not really got the creativity at the moment to unlock it.
Anderson will try and change that. Thiago Neves. Ronaldinho. Here's Diego. He's had a poor game from his own high standards, Diego, today. He's not alone in Brazilian yellow.
There's been a few of them below par, and it seems to have been the creative players, you know, the ones who can make something happen. But it's all too often they've got into an area, and the Cameroon midfield or defenders have stuck their foot in and just stopped them in their tracks.
For both teams, this is game 4 in 10 days, Leroy. An extra 30 minutes as well. Both sets of players will be filling it now, but surely Cameroon more, given the fact that they are down to 10.
Absolutely, and the way they played the game from the first minute, they let Brazil have the ball and they chased the ball. You know, in this humidity, you know, for anybody it's hard work, especially like four games, you know, in 10 games. It's difficult to say the least, but they've kept going and they will keep going as well.
Ronaldinho has lost it and is down on the floor. Play goes on. Only now does he make his way back onto his feet. Forward by Nkulu. Just run away from Ungal.
No real quality now coming forward from Cameroon. It's really just trying to get it in behind the Brazil defence, basically just to get a breather, because they know they're going to lose the ball. Let them have it in front. It's the same pattern. And say to Brazil, can you get the goal?
Well, I wonder at what stage Dunga will bring on his 2 subs, because it would be foolish in the extreme, surely, if he's got that opportunity to do precisely that. If he doesn't do it, and players that are on the pitch that are feeling the pace a bit are clearly struggling. Discuss that further in a moment or two as Diego suffers again. free kick goes Cameroon's way. Some potential replacements that he's got up his sleeve. He's already brought on Thiago Neves. So in terms of midfield playmakers, he's got them out on there on the pitch now with 4 of them: Anderson, Diego, Ronaldinho and Thiago Neves. Maybe a change up front, Pato, and maybe even Joe on as well.
Yeah, I think the only change he can make is up front, but I think if he had anybody, Diego and Ronaldinho haven't done it today. They could easily come off, but Sobis for me is the man who'll come off, and eventually, if he wants to make that decision.
Foul by Marcelo, because there is pressure back home on Dunga. As I said earlier, the World Cup qualification campaign not at all going smoothly. They're 5th in the qualifying group, and it's only the top 4 that are guaranteed of going through. Now, you'd still imagine Brazil will make up enough ground to qualify, but Brazil aren't used to struggling to get through, are they?
No, certainly not.
And if they go out of the quarter-finals against a 10-man Cameroon side at the quarter-final stage, that would certainly heap more pressure on Dunga. Another yellow card has been shown, I think, to Nkulu for time wasting.
Is that all the Cameroon side have been booked now, Martin?
Well, 6 on the pitch at the moment have been booked, plus Banning, who got 2 during the game. Here's Marcelo for Brazil. Chedru in the way. Just going back to the point about Dunga, Leroy, this is where coaches really earn their corn, isn't it? To make changes that change a game.
Absolutely.
On the charge is Mbua. Small but ever so speedy. Ole Ole. Diego has won it back for Brazil. Cameroon have pushed bodies forward. Maybe a chance here for Rafael Sobis. It's a good opportunity. Keeper off his line. There's the goal. Cameroon were pushing for a breakthrough themselves, left themselves short at the back, and Rafael Sobis, left on significantly by Dunga, has got the opening goal on 100 minutes.
That's why he's a manager, Dunga. I said he should have come off, but he's got the all-important goal. But it was made so easy for him. They've lost the ball in midfield. He's in on goal, and then all of a sudden, Tiengme ends up, 15 yards out of goal, and he makes it so easy for Sobis, and he just lifts it over him into the empty net. And that's poor from the captain, Tiembe. He had defenders getting back. It could have made it a lot harder for him, but at the end of the day, Brazil are in front at last.
Rafael Sobis gets his first goal of the Olympic, gets his second goal of the Olympic Games, scored against New Zealand, and relief all round for Brazil.
It is relief as well. You can just feel the tension on that bench just ebb away. They didn't want it to go to penalties, and it's a long way back now for Cameroon. Can they find the energy to try and get forward? Will they change their formation? Will they go 4-3-2? Well, they might have to do something if they've got any chance of getting back into this game.
Confirmation of that earlier booking for Nicolas Nkulu, the Cameroon right back. But how significant was that? The fact that for the first time, Cameroon had pushed bodies forward. They lost the ball in the heart of the midfield. The defenders had just switched off for a moment, and one pass changes the whole game.
Absolutely, Martin. I said it would be a mistake, and it doesn't seem like a massive mistake, but when you've got good possession, the back four relax, and that's what happened. He's lost the ball in a good area for Brazil. I think it's Diego's got forward, played the through ball, but Sobis has still got a lot to do. Now, I would say it was a mistake from the keeper to come running out, charging out of his goal. Makes it very easy for him. And, you know, they're 1-0 down, and after all that time of concentrating so hard and doing everything right, you know, I find it very hard to believe that there's a way back for them.
Long by Anderson. Cameroon have managed just 4 shots in the entire game so far. Just one that needed the slightest of touches by Renan. And suddenly they have to change their game plan completely with only 10 players on the pitch that are getting more and more tired by the second.
frustration, total frustration. Another silly foul, and Brazil will be happy with that. They'll take the fouls now. They'll kill the game, and they'll see out the clock.
Good screening by Diego. There's the goal scorer. Worth remembering, of course, that Brazil haven't conceded in the game so far. Belgium 1-0, New Zealand 5-0, China 3-0.
I think it bodes well for Brazil. No, renowned for keeping clean sheets. You know, always an open and attractive side, but their discipline in terms of their concentration has been good in this tournament. And the two centre halves, Breno and Silva, haven't been put under pressure in this game, but you still have to concentrate, and they've done that very well.
Lucas finding Diego, on to Ronaldinho. As Cameroon push forward, more and more gaps will open up for Brazil. Thiago Neves, lovely ball, and it's brilliantly taken. What a fantastic finish by the left-back Marcelo, who carried his run. That is a superb goal by Brazil. That's more like it, and that surely is their place in the last four guaranteed.
Fantastic goal. I would say a beautiful goal as well. It's all started off with Ronaldinho. I think he loses the ball, Marcelo. And it's a lovely clip ball from Thiago Neves. What a technique on his weaker right foot. It's fantastic off the heel, and he's meant that. That's no fluke. He's meant that. And in Brazilian tradition, a tremendous goal.
Marcelo, the Real Madrid left back, surely wraps up this quarter-final tie now in the last minute of the first half of extra time. He has scored, in fact, for the full national side. Scored against Wales on his international debut, and great things are predicted of him, as you'd expect from a man that's been signed for Real Madrid as a teenager.
Well, he looks like Roberto Carlos, doesn't he?
Yeah.
There's a spit of him, and you know, I think Roberto Carlos would have been delighted with that finish as well.
1 minute of extra time at the end of the first period of extra time, and it's just a matter of time now of Brazil just seeing their way through to victory, surely. Cameroon didn't look like scoring one goal, let alone two.
I'm just wondering whether there's going to be some ill discipline from the Cameroon side before the end of this game. Yeah, I think there's 7 players on yellow cards at the moment. They need to keep their discipline, and you know, because there's a way of going out. And at the moment, you know, they've shown a lot of effort, a lot of endeavour. Sometimes it's not pretty, but they've made it hard for Brazil and given them a game.
Well, Rafael Sobis has done his bit. His goal on 100 minutes has provided the platform for Brazil to make it through the semi-finals, and Manchester City fans get another chance to have a glimpse of their record signing, Joe. But they'll have to wait until the second period of extra time to see it. Second period of extra time underway. Brazil, who threw on Joe right on the final whistle of that first period of extra time, are ready to make another change shortly as well. Surely Leroy with one eye on the semi-final coming up on Tuesday. Chance to give somebody a bit of a rest. Maybe the captain Ronaldinho.
Absolutely, I think you know, he's played in all the games, and it's his hard work, you know, for him. As we said, you know, the 4th game in 10 days, and if they do want to get the gold medal, he will be important in the next game and the final if they get there.
Brazil have never gone all the way in the Olympics. They've never won the gold. 2 silvers and a bronze is their record at the Games. Looks like another semi-final is beckoning.
Well, what this does say is that it's not going to be a breeze like people thought for Brazil. You know, Cameroon have come out here, shown how you can make it very difficult for them, and I'm sure sides like Argentina, Italy, and all the other teams still in the tournament will take that on board and realise that they have got a chance of beating the Brazil side that sometimes on their day don't click and will give you an opportunity.
If Cameroon are to get back, they need something very, very quickly. Song with the free kick. Long, helped on, but out of play, and it came off a Brazilian head last. Joe was in there. And here's the change for Brazil. Ramirez, the 21-year-old, plays for Cruzeiro in Brazil. And it's Diego that's going to make way, not Ronaldinho. That's a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, it's a bit of a surprise, but he's just as important. He's, you know, he hasn't had his best game today, but was involved in that first goal, winning the ball in midfield, setting up Sobis for that tremendous finish, and you know, he'll need the rest, and he'll come back and find his form again.
So Ramirez on, another defensive midfielder, as the corner comes in and goes out. Ramirez, by the way, a late call-up for Brazil once it became clear that Rubinho of Real Madrid wasn't able to make the journey across to China. BK first to it. Came off Ronaldinho's back. Joe's long legs getting there first. In comes Ramirez. Joe takes over. Joe with a shot. Never quite got his balance right. Snatched at the opportunity.
Absolutely. He's just got up off his backside there. He's gone down, got up. Not really set up. It was always going high and wide.
Ungal. Stopped in the end by Breno after being partially stopped by Marcelo. Ramirez.
Could be a time for Brazil to enjoy these last 10 minutes. Certainly didn't look that way.
Ronaldinho on towards Joe. Strong challenge by Piqué. Oh, and then a bit of a tread on Joe after the ball had been crossed, but the flag is up anyway. Just throw this into the equation, Leroy. It doesn't often happen, but just looking at the teams that Brazil have beaten so far, a European side in Belgium. There is Joe in some discomfort, by the way. European side in Belgium in the first group game, then New Zealand from Oceania in their second, then China from Asia in their third, Cameroon, African side in the quarter-final. They're scheduled maybe to play Argentina in the semi-final, another South American team. That's quite a collection they're racking up from teams around the world.
It certainly is. And, but I think the common denominator is they won all those games.
Look at this, Ronaldinho. Was he held back by Piqué? Determined defending by Piqué. Quite sure if it was all legal.
I would have said he's found him at least 2 or 3 times in that little scuffle.
Son. Oh, that's a nice first touch, and the shot is accurate as well. Really hammered towards goal by Ungal, and it's a good stop by Renan, who's barely figured in the game at all.
Yeah, well done, Cameroon. You know, nice turn by Ungal. Song's got forward from centre half. Lovely turn on Breno, and a good strike, and really a save the keeper should make, but he makes it.
Well, we've kind of written off Cameroon, but is there still an enormous sting in the tail here? Well, not there isn't.
Well, you know, the next goal is all important. You know, every manager will tell you that 2-0 is a dangerous lead to have, because you know, you think you've won the game, and all of a sudden things can change, even with 10 men. So, you know, 9 minutes to go, they can just get that next goal from out of somewhere. It might give them an opportunity. But in all honesty, Martin, I can't see it.
No, I think I'm with you there, Leroy. It's not been comfortable for Brazil, but they are edging ever closer towards what they believe to be their destiny. place in the Olympic final, but one step at a time through this quarter-final yet, but very near to it.
What a tremendous bit of skill that was. He's taken that over his head and controlled it superbly, and that's what Ronaldinho's about. And but the sooner he gets his fitness, you know, he's obviously needs to lose about half a stone, it looks like to me, but as soon as you get his fitness and that mind starts working again, he's a real threat in any class of game.
Of course, could have actually been a teammate of Joe we've just seen on the pitch there. Manchester City very interested in signing Ronaldinho. Don't know exactly how interested he was in going to Eastlands, but may have used it as leverage to get himself away from Barcelona and that move to San Siro.
No disrespect to Man City, Martin, but you know, in the turmoil that they're in at the moment, I couldn't see it myself, and you know, in competition with AC Milan, it was always a long shot.
Well, his exertions on the Olympic stage can only help his match fitness for Serie A. Off goes Anderson. Almost released Thiago Neves.
Well, he's come on and had an effect. Thiago Neves in the second goal. Yeah, he said he's got a great left foot. We've seen 2 goals, but the little dink over the back four for Marcelo was absolutely superb. As good as a finish.
Bebe down again with a touch of cramp. Martin Ntongul knows that Cameroon's Olympic quest is just about over for another 4 years.
Fairness to Cameroon, I don't think they could have approached this game any other way against a Brazil side. If you let them play, we'll tear you apart.
There's that goal again, the little flick over by Thiago Neves that you referred to, Leroy. And you reckon Marcelo meant that, do you?
Oh,
definitely.
Absolutely. And you know, when I played, I couldn't have got my leg up there, to be honest. And you know, for a left fullback to end up in the centre of goal on the penalty spot to finish on his right foot with a volley like that, it's just absolutely sublime. And I think there's the only side who would do that is the Brazilian side. Yeah. You know, they would allow that to happen, where your 2 fullbacks are your most forward players, and it's fantastic to see. It's been worth, you know, the 90, 100 minutes of drab football that we saw before just to see that.
Well, we spoke very early on about the way Brazil play at all levels of the game. Great emphasis on their 2 fullbacks to get forward as much as possible. Under Cafu and Roberto Carlos in their pomp. Joe offside. No need to be offside in that situation. He's had a bit of stitches by the looks of his eyes after that little incident with BK at the start of this second period of extra time.
Just talking about Cafu and Roberto Carlos, you know, they're 2 fullbacks who never ran back and defended, because Brazil always had the ball, and they run forward, jog back, and what careers they had and what goals they scored.
Thiago Neves, all left foot, but what quality he has on that left foot. Through here towards the on-running Ramirez, the flag is up anyway.
Just 1 touch too many from Thiago Neves. Could have released the ball or even unleashed a shot. He decided to take an extra touch before he tried to pass it through to Ramirez, and he was clearly a yard offside.
Yeah, I was expecting him to drop the shoulder and hit that left.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the free kick in the game against China was absolutely fantastic, and when you've got a left foot like that, I would advise him to use it.
Careless by Brazil. Alexandre Song. Powerfully away by Alex Silva.
Just thinking there, Martin, Alexandre Song, you know, I think he's had a tremendous game. You know, maybe just 1 mistake in the whole game. You know, is he going to get a game at Arsenal this year? Because I think if given the opportunity, I think he could have a real effect in that midfield. You know, with Flamini gone now, you know, can he go in and step into the breach? He's still only young, but if he doesn't, it just shows how strong the Arsenal squad is, because I think he's had a fantastic game today.
Looking on towards the semi-final, Leroy, clearly we don't know who Brazil will face as yet, but it's now 4 games in a row that they've won, yet to concede a goal. But will their next opponents have a chance to look at this game and say, right, that's the way we need to play against Brazil, and we might carry more of an offensive threat than Cameroon?
Absolutely. I think they could take into account, the way Cameroon have defended and, stop Brazil getting into that last third with good quality. But they do need to have a goal threat. On occasions Cameroon have threatened, but haven't really got enough bodies forward. I just feel that the likes of the teams still left in the tournament have got that goal threat and maybe can exploit the spaces in behind if they bring Brazil onto them and just and put the ball in behind the two big centre halves. Who are mobile, but not as mobile as you would like, and could cause them problems.
Broken up by Song. Here's Umbua. Took too long to release it, but was fouled from behind by Ramirez, and the referee gets out the yellow card again.
Yeah, Umbua took an age to decide what he was doing. He was really caught in two minds, didn't know whether to take it forward at pace or to pass, and in the end Ramirez tripped him over.
Well, at this late stage, surely a goal now for Cameroon would just be a consolation effort, but they'll go for it anyway. And now they might be caught out if Anderson can release this properly. Ronaldinho takes over. Just not getting away from his man at the moment, is he? Just that turn of pace isn't there.
Absolutely, he's doing enough. Usually he's away, he's got that yard and he gets across people, but that lack of fitness, which I'm sure will come, isn't quite there yet.
Confirmation of that booking. 5 Brazilians now in the referee's notebook. A reminder that yellow cards are taken out of the equation from now on. Good job for Brazil, because they were carrying a few yellow cards going into this game anyway. Alex Silva, Hernandez, Anderson, Lucas, Renan, they'd all been booked in the group stage.
I think that's a good thing, Martin. It always upsets me, when people pick up yellow cards and then in the semi-final, you see people pick up another one and they don't get to the final because they've picked up a couple of yellow cards in 4 or 5 games. And it's tough, for defenders and midfield players especially. And so I think that's a good rule.
Anderson, look at this, 120th minute of the game, and a surge from the Manchester United man like that. No questions about his fitness, although he's having a few deep breaths now.
I was going to say, he's taking his time getting back now, but he also had the rest in the last game where he was rested, so I'm sure he's full of energy.
Umbua for Cameroon. Last few minutes of their Olympic campaign. Ole manages to get away from Marcelo, not once but twice. Scores it with the quality of the cross.
When he did the second trick, I almost went Ole, but the cross let him down, too close to the keeper. And Renan, one of the few things he had to do, he did well.
Ronaldinho, lovely ball, he's gone for the return. Is there still gloss on this performance for Brazil as we enter additional time at the end of extra time? 2 minutes of additional time to be played.
You still see his class though, don't you? At times you just see that special something that nobody else has got, and that's what makes him such a beauty to watch. And
if Milan can get him fit, Leroy, we can still see him perform on the European stage and also at the world stage for Brazil too.
Yeah, I certainly think so. I think he's got a good couple of years at the highest level. If he's got the motivation to do it, it's down to him as an individual. And coming here and playing in all these games shows that he wants to do it, and I think he will.
Well, he and Brazil are a step closer to winning the gold medal at the Olympics. The referee has seen enough. We've not played all the extra time that we were promised, but well, it wasn't a vintage performance by Brazil. It was a bruising battle, all right. 5 of their players booked, 6 from Cameroon. Another player in green was sent off, but in the end, goals in extra time from Rafael Sobis and Marcelo have seen Dunga's men through to the last 4 of the Olympic Games. The final score in Shenyang, Brazil 2, Cameroon 0.